A desperate young woman walked into the Houston Police Department headquarters searching for her missing little sister. Before the night was over, she would uncover a family secret buried for nearly 20 years and find the brother she never knew was still alive. The evening shift at the Houston Police Department headquarters was winding down. Officers were finishing paperwork, answering final calls, and preparing to head home after a long day. The atmosphere was calm and routine. Then, the front doors opened. A young woman stepped inside. She looked exhausted. Her clothes were worn and dusty. Her hair was tangled, and dark circles rested beneath her eyes. Clutched tightly in her trembling hands was an old photograph. She approached the reception desk. "Please help me," she whispered. The officers barely looked up. Missing persons reports arrived every day, and judging by her appearance, some assumed she was just another homeless woman seeking attention.
"My little sister is missing," she said desperately. One officer sighed. Another shook his head. "She's probably with friends or ran away," he said. "File a report at your local precinct." Tears filled the young woman's eyes, but she refused to leave. "My sister's name is Lily Carter. She's only 10 years old. She disappeared last night. I've looked everywhere."
For a brief moment, silence settled over the room. Then everyone returned to their work. Just as hope was beginning to fade from her face, a deep voice echoed from a nearby office. "What's going on out there?" The room immediately became quiet. The voice belonged to Captain Michael Carter, one of Houston's most respected police commanders. Known for his integrity and dedication, Michael had spent years protecting the city's most vulnerable citizens. When he learned that a young woman was searching for her missing sister, he immediately ordered that she be brought into his office. The woman entered nervously. "My name is Emily," she said softly. Unlike the officers outside, Michael treated her with kindness. He handed her a bottle of water and listened carefully as she explained everything. Lily had disappeared from their East Houston neighborhood the previous evening. Emily had searched all night. Earlier that day, she had visited another police station, but nobody had taken her seriously. As she spoke, Michael studied the old photograph she had placed on his desk. Something about it seemed strangely familiar. He asked questions about her family. Emily explained that years ago, a devastating house fire had destroyed their home. After the tragedy, their father disappeared. They never saw him again. Michael felt a strange sensation in his chest. "What was your father's name?" he asked. "Robert Carter." The name struck him like lightning. For years, Michael had carried scattered memories of his childhood. He too had survived a terrible house fire. Afterward, he had been separated from his family and raised in foster care. He had always been told that no one else survived. His heart began pounding. Trying to stay calm, he noticed a burn scar on Emily's arm. "How did you get that scar?" he asked. Emily glanced down. "During the fire," she replied. "My father pulled me out before the flames spread." The room suddenly felt smaller. Michael's breathing became shallow. The pieces were finally fitting together. The fire, the missing father, the last name, the scar, the memories he had spent years trying to understand. Slowly, he stood from his chair. Tears began forming in his eyes. "Emily," he said, his voice trembling. "Robert Carter was my father too." She stared at him in confusion. Michael swallowed hard. "I'm your brother." For several seconds, neither of them moved.
Neither of them spoke. Then Emily began crying. Michael opened a drawer and removed a photograph he had carried for years. It showed a smiling family standing together outside a small house. Emily gasped. It was the same photograph. The truth was undeniable.
After nearly 20 years apart, brother and sister had found each other again. But there was no time to celebrate. Lily was still missing. Immediately, Michael transformed from emotional brother into determined police captain. He ordered a citywide alert. Road checkpoints were established. Every precinct received Lily's description. Detectives were assigned to bus stations, shelters, abandoned buildings, and known trafficking locations. The entire department sprang into action. Hours passed. Emily sat beside her newly discovered brother. Hope and fear battled inside her heart. Then, late that night, a detective rushed into Michael's office. "We've got a lead." A young girl matching Lily's description had been spotted inside an abandoned warehouse near the outskirts of the city. Michael immediately launched an operation. Within minutes, police units surrounded the building. The raid was swift. Several suspects were arrested, and inside a locked room, officers found Lily. Alive. Terrified, but unharmed. When the call came through confirming her rescue, Emily burst into tears. Half an hour later, a police vehicle arrived at headquarters. The moment Lily stepped through the doors, she saw her sister. "Emily!" She ran forward. The two sisters embraced tightly, both crying uncontrollably. Watching nearby, Michael felt tears streaming down his own face. That night, he had recovered far more than a missing child. He had recovered his family. Later, Michael brought both sisters home. His wife, Sarah, welcomed them warmly. For the first time in years, the broken family sat together around a dinner table. The sisters who had struggled to survive finally had a home. The brother who believed he was alone finally had his family back. As Houston slept that night, lights remained on inside Michael Carter's house. Not because of work, not because of duty, but because three people, separated by tragedy, had finally found one another again. Sometimes life closes doors without explanation. Sometimes it steals years that can never be returned. But every once in a while, when hope refuses to die, those same doors open again, and they lead us home.